Right under your nose, there's a tiny groove. You've seen it your whole life, every single day in the mirror, but you've probably never questioned it. Why is it there? Because it doesn't seem useful. It doesn't move. It doesn't do anything obvious. It just exists. But here's the strange part. That small groove actually has a name. It's called the philtrum. And it's not random. In fact, it's a leftover clue from how your face was formed before you were even born. Let me explain. When you're developing as a baby, your face doesn't appear all at once. It builds over time, step by step. And in the early stages, it's not even one single structure. It's separate pieces, different sections growing independently, almost like parts of a puzzle that haven't been joined yet. There's one section forming the center of your face, others forming the sides, another shaping the upper lip. At first, they're apart, not connected. And as development continues, they slowly move toward each other, closer and closer, until eventually they meet and fuse together. That moment is critical because everything has to line up perfectly. Position, timing, growth. If even a small part is off, the structure changes. Now here's where that groove comes in. The philtrum is the exact place where those sections fused. It's essentially a seam, a visible line left behind after everything joined. And even though your face looks smooth and complete, that tiny groove remains, like a quiet mark of how it was built. Now think about that for a second. That small line under your nose is not just a feature. It's a record. It's a physical trace from a time you can't remember, but your body does. And here's something even more important. That fusion process has to be incredibly precise, because if those parts don't join correctly, it can lead to conditions like a cleft lip, where the lip doesn't fully close, which shows how delicate that moment really is. And the philtrum? It's almost like proof that everything aligned exactly the way it should. But the story doesn't end there, because that groove still affects you today, even if you don't notice it. It helps shape your upper lip. It creates subtle shadows when light hits your face. It influences how your expressions look, even the way your smile forms. And here's something most people don't realize. No two philtrums are exactly the same. Some are deep and defined. Some are barely visible. And those small differences can actually change how a face appears. In fact, in some cases, doctors even look at the philtrum as a clue, because its shape can reflect how facial development happened. Now here's where things take an unexpected turn. For something so small, this groove has captured human imagination for centuries. In some cultures, there's a belief that before you're born, you know everything. Every answer. Every secret. And just before you enter the world, a finger is placed on your lips, erasing that knowledge. And that touch leaves behind the groove. The philtrum. Of course, that's just a story, but it tells you something important. Even something this small feels meaningful because we naturally look for reasons, for patterns, for hidden details. And sometimes those details are real, just not in the way we expect. Because the truth is, your body is full of things like this. Small features, quietly carrying history. Marks of how you were formed, how you developed, how everything came together. And most of the time, you never notice them until you do. And once you understand them, they stop being invisible. Because now, every time you look in the mirror, your eyes will go straight to that tiny groove. And you'll realize it's not just there by chance. It's a mark from the moment your face was assembled. A reminder that even the smallest details have a story behind them. And you've been carrying that story your entire life without even knowing it.